Okay, first of all, let's address the elephant in the room. I have man flu. I've just come back. I'm not exaggerating it. If you know how bad man flu is, it's bad. I came back from a lad's holiday at the weekend, and yeah, I mean, I've decided now I'm 36 and married, I can't handle more than 2 nights out. So yeah, I weren't going to make a video this week, but I feel like it's my job. I'm a YouTuber. That's what I tell everyone that I do for a living, because the moment I tell someone that I'm a trader, they just, oh my God, I want to get into trading. I bought some Bitcoin once. So like, yeah. So when people ask me what I do for a living, I just say, oh, I'm a YouTuber. And they're like, what do you do? What do you film? And I'm like, just me talking to the camera. Right. Anyway, I want to show you my trading results today because I think it's going to be very interesting, right? I was thinking about this last night while I was in bed with man flu, and I realized, okay, think about this, right? How many of you lot are frustrated, are going around in circles, are depressed or more sad about their trading, right? Only 99% of traders don't make money. There's only 1% that make money. So it's a fact, and we will both agree on, you and me, if only 1% make money, that trading as a whole is a very toxic, negative, and frustrating industry to be in, right? Because, as you'll know, it's very lonely, it's very frustrating, and if 99% of traders are like that, that's how the industry is. And I thought to myself, it's very fascinating when you think about that, because what you see on YouTube is the complete opposite. It's like Lamborghinis, supercars, trading on the beach. And it's like, no, that's not actually what trading is like. And it's fascinating, right? Because we can go into a little bit deeper, right? Bear with me. The objective, now you could have this argument with me, right? So I'm going to say take this with a pinch of salt, because obviously I'm on YouTube. I teach people to trade, indicator, the buy and show, I get it, right? Most gurus on YouTube, their objective is to sell you something, right? Your objective as a trader is consistency. So can you see the disconnect here between the people that are apparently trying to teach you? Their objective is to potentially sell you something or sell you the dream. And that might necessarily be the wrong way for you with your trading, because your objective is to consistently make profits. That's why most people on YouTube, right, that show you these flashy lifestyles are literally faking it, right? I'm a full-time trader, and I jump on my charts at 6 o'clock in the morning right here, and normally about 11 o'clock I'm finished, right? And in that time, I'm doing emails, running my other businesses, I'm trading, I'm live streaming, I'm talking to the members, and I'm also building robots and, just generally just having a look, buying a few properties, seeing what businesses I can buy abroad or investments, etc. And around 11 or 12 o'clock, I'm finished, done. Beyond that, you won't see me in this office until tomorrow, right? Now, most people that are filming themselves, right, out and about in their supercars will have a video editor. They'll have somebody filming them. They'll have somebody editing the videos, the thumbnails, etc. That costs £1,000 a month. Why would somebody do that? When you are trading, having money is the convenience of peace and quiet. Peace and quiet. Being able to do what you want when you want to do it. Nobody wants a camera shoved in their face 24/7 unless they're doing it to sell you something, right? Like me, okay? I'll be in this office, and that is as much as you'll see, because once I'm done here, I'm out enjoying life, right? To give you a clue, I've got to go pick my Lamborghini up from the next town. I'm going to drive that Lamborghini to my parents' house where my Aston Martin is. The reason why the Aston Martin is at my parents' house is because my Range Rover is in my garage here, and there's no space for all 3 of these cars. So once I've got the Lamborghini, I'll go pick the Aston Martin up, and then I'll take that for a service. Now, I could film all that, but what is the point? What am I gaining out of that? Nothing. It's just inconvenience. It ain't for me. I don't like it. So yeah, right? And I'm glad that I told you that, because it might give you a reality check of what it actually takes to be a full-time trader. Like, let me show you my trades right now, today. In fact, let me show you, okay? What I'm going to do is I'll edit this in again, right? I'll show you my trades today and we'll go over them on the chart. So let me just record, okay? You ready? So I'm going to put this on the screen, okay? These are my trading results today. As you can see, I had 2 straight losses, Aussie Chef and EuroCAD, and then I've just won some gold trades here, which I'll go over, 2 gold trades, which I'll show you in a minute. If we have a look at last week, you will see it's £10,000. At the weekend, while I was on holiday, I'm going to show you that. So that is going to be custom. So today is today's Wednesday. So let's do the start date on Friday when I got to the airport, to Monday, which is there. So this is while I was on holiday, okay? And I made 7 grand, okay? Most of this is going to be Bitcoin, actually, on Saturday. I don't know what day that was, 24th. So the 24th was, I think, Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday, okay? So there's my trading profits over the weekend, right? And there you go, right? Now, I want to go over my trades right now on the charts because I want to tell you something, and it's going to be a big reality check. Imagine you right now, you created your own strategy, and it was the most simplest strategy ever, right? And you had to take 100 trades. I guarantee by the time you get to that 100th trade, it will not look like the first. Why? You will go through periods while you're taking these 100 trades that sometimes you're going to take riskier trades. Sometimes you might make setups that don't meet the rules. Sometimes you might put your stop loss in the wrong place. You take profit in the wrong place. You might push your trades and get stopped out. You might panic and close early. You just will constantly trade like that. And the quicker that you understand that is perfectly normal, the quicker you're going to progress as a trader, right? Everybody teaches you, oh, look at this, right? You've got to be disciplined, patient, go for a 1 to 5 and, it's all about probability, good risk reward. Yeah, on those setups that they show you, yes. But in reality, day to day, it doesn't work like that because some days just don't go the way they want to go. And you've got to know when to get out. And in a way that is not governed by, most people I'll give you an example. Some guy yesterday, he took a trade. It was perfect. It went into profit. It was around 50% to take profit. And it reversed and stopped him out. And he said, Jamie, why did that trade lose? And I said, well, that's not a losing trade. It went into profit. Why didn't you take partials? Because I'm trying to get the loss back that I just had. Okay, so can you see the problem now? You're now being controlled by the previous loss you had, right? And you're being stubborn because you're trying to get like a bigger take profit to recover the loss. Well, you know what? That loss that you just took didn't need to be a loss, did it? You could have took partials. You could have locked in that profit. Now, we accept that particular setup probably didn't do what we wanted it to do. It went into profit, then reversed, and it would have been a loss. But we could have got out at break even or a small profit. And it's those little differences there that make a huge, huge difference to your trading. Everybody can win a winning trade, but not everybody can get out of a winning trade early, right? I don't know. I've never used that saying before. I think that's right. Or get out of a losing trade. I don't know, right? But they make the huge difference. Imagine right now, you're in a trade. Would you rather take a $100 loss or £100 loss or a $200 or £200 loss? Which one, the $100 or 200? Most people would take the $100. Everyone would say, I'd rather have a $100 loss than a $200 loss. But the problem is, you can look at that in hindsight and say, I would pick the left, the $100. But at the time that trade is happening, you don't know how far that trade is going to go down south, right? You don't know. So most people hold on to that loss, okay? And they just watch it go down and down and down. And they're like, oh my God, I could have got out at break even. I could have got out of a small loss. I could have got out in a bit of profit. This is my point. When you see a trade go into profit, reward yourself. Appreciate it that you've took a winning trade. Get that profit out. If that trade then reverses, this isn't the trade that we need to fight. Move on, take the next trade, because you'll get that one trade, it just goes flying. But it won't happen every single day. You are naive to think that every trade you take is going to be perfect, right? Because you're going to be frustrated. You're going to, like I said, you're going to take trades that don't meet the rules. You know, some guy said to me, Jamie, is it okay to take one risky trade a day? You're going to do that regardless whether I give you an answer to that. We are always going to do that. We are human. And the quicker you accept that, the quicker you improve. So let's go over my trades and you'll see exactly, right? You've seen my profit today, which is currently, hold on here, is currently £1,700. I've posted them. I took them live with the members. As you can see here, there's some trades with like the members are taking. Is that one right? That's a nice trade. I just show you, if you go to the free group, you'll see the trades. But let's go over the start of my day. Aussie Chef, first trade of the day, bright and early. You ready? Let's have a look. Aussie Chef, I can't even remember when I took this trade on, what time frame it was on. Okay, Aussie Chef, here we go here. It should be up here somewhere if I marked it. Here we go here. This was the trade, okay? I've got a funny feeling it might have been on the 5 seconds. Okay, here we go here. Right, here we go here. So this was the trade. Beautiful, double alert, right? So this was the trade. Now this one, this was just a straight loss. I couldn't do anything about this one. This was just a straight loss. Okay, it was just here. So as you can see here, we had our first pullback. We had our second pullback just there. It was a little bit messy because that pullback was slightly below the EMA, but the structure was above the EMA. So I was like, okay, I've got structure above the EMA. I've got my first pullback. This is my second pullback. And what happens? It was a loss. That's it. Move on. It wasn't the best, but you got to be in it to win it. I'll move on from it. The next trade, okay? Euro CAD, which was a sell, okay? Now this one, I took a risk on this one, okay? I really did take a risk on this one here. But again, right, you know, risk, whatever, you got to be in it to win it sort of thing, right? This was a sell, was it? Yeah, Euro CAD sell. I'm going to have to find it, if I'm being honest with you. I think I might, here we go here, right? So this one was technically an invalid trade. So I bent the rules here. I got punished for it. Okay, they're going to happen. They're going to happen. Get over it. They're going to happen, right? If I was more stricter on this day, in this moment, I probably wouldn't have took the trade. But you know what? I got slapped on the cheek. It's a loss. I move on. So again, the reason why this was not good, as you'll probably know, if you trade the Mogwai reversal, we had our structure there. That was beautiful. But then I took this trade and it had broken the EMA. It almost like came up and like retouched the previous high, as you can see there. It just wasn't good, right? Again, lesson learned. The next trade was gold. Now, gold was a little bit different because it was a double alert, which, you know, you kind of just take the trade sort of thing. This was actually, no, it wasn't. This was called by a member. This guy, I had a webinar with him, right? And I'm not going to show you him, but I know this guy. He's always in the group every single day. So this was so I actually took 2 trades. Okay, this was the first trade here. So same again, we've got our first pullback. You need to see the difference now. You see the structure, how it's above the EMA. So you see how this is perfect. If I was being more strict, I wouldn't have took the first 2 trades, right? So like this one, you've got the first pullback, you got the second pullback. Again, I took partials at the top of the zone. Beautiful. Move my stop loss up. It locks in those profits. Bang. You see the difference? So there was 3 trades I took today. If I was being more strict, 2 of them I wouldn't have took. And this one here, you know, would have been my winner for the day, right? But, you know, it's different, different psychology, right? It's how you wake up every single day and you decide on that day how much risk you're going to take on a trade, okay? The more quicker you accept that, the quicker you'll improve. Now, I actually took a trade just before that, also on gold, okay, which was actually a double alert, which you'll actually see. This was here. So this was the actual trade. I actually took it on the 5 seconds as well, if I'm being honest with you, right? It was actually this one here. You see that double alert just there? Okay, this was the trade that I actually took, okay? To show you, just to show you, it would be in here. No, that was the 1 minute. That was it. So that's the double alert. You see the double alert I got? Okay, beautiful. I also, if you look at that says 10 seconds. If you look at the 5 seconds, that's that double alert as well. So I basically just rode it all the way up. And that is it. That's literally my trading done for the day. I'm off out of here. I'm going to say goodbye to you. And that is it, right? The quicker that you accept that you're going to go through these emotions, you know, trading's just not going to be what you want it to be. And the quicker you accept that and say, you know what, this is me. This is the strategy that I'm learning. These are the mistakes I'm potentially going to make. Let's do it. Let's go through these emotions and let's push ourselves. And the more you accept that, the more you improve, right? The reason why you're frustrated is because you're making these mistakes and you just can't stop them. But rather than trying to stop the mistakes, it's like trying to stop your emotions, right? You can't stop your emotions. You can only control your emotions. And the quicker you learn to accept and control them, then the quicker you learn to improve, right? If that makes sense. So I hope you enjoyed that one. My name is Jamie Palmer and thank you for watching.